Hello farmers and welcome back to American Falls. It is April, which means it is time to plant the corn. We are headed down in the Landini with our plow because I don't really need to do this, but just to be more realistic in the sense. The field that we purchased has rye in it and the crop is extremely high. Now technically I can come in here with the planter that we're going to be leasing here shortly. I can actually just come in here and I think it would just take care of it, no problem. But yeah, you can see how tall the crop is. So we're going to go ahead and plow this in. Now, the one thing I'm kind of curious with precision farming, am I going to get like any added nutrients? So nitrogen level is at 10. I wonder when I plow this, am I going to get any nutrients in this field from plowing it in? I don't know. I'm thinking like oilseed radish, when you plant that, you get an extra stage of fertilization with it. Let's see what happens here. Oh yeah, I'm not going to be able to tell. Let's see, nitrogen 35, 25. I think I am actually getting... Nitrogen level is 10. I think it was 10 before. Nitrogen level is like 25, 35. I'm kind of curious what's going to happen though, because now that I know it's actually giving us nitrogen, yeah, we got wide tires on here, so I'm actually destroying crop. So it's going to be kind of interesting how this is going to look here in the future, but you know what, it'll be what it is. But we're going to plow this crop in and then we can plant corn. Now I decided to plant corn in the other two fields as well. So we have 3 fields that are empty, this one and 2 others. And I was thinking, the way the pigs are reproducing and how much feed we're probably going to need, I think just to be on the safe side, we're going to plant corn in all 3 remaining fields. We have another field that has wheat into it, and I thought I had to spray for weeds in that field, but I kind of forgot that we plowed that field because it had corn in it last year. So when you plow a field, weeds will not grow for another year. So there's no weeds in that field. But we will have weeds in the one field closest up to the pig farm. So we'll have to spray for weeds for that at some point. We will be buying ourselves the See & Spot weed sprayer. Maybe not today. I'm just going to keep holding out because you never know if it'll come up for sale. It's happened a few times for me, so you never can tell. But our goal for today is, well, get this field plowed and then lease the planter and go around and plant corn in the other 3 fields. And all of our fields will be set and we're good to go. Currently, right now, we got Franco over in field number 39, which is right across from us, basically, fertilizing that field. I think we'll get paid like 16 grand for that. Not a whole lot of plowing or fertilizing contracts so far this spring. I think the plowing contracts will have to wait now until after harvest. I thought maybe there'd be a couple of plowing contracts, but nothing has popped up. But now all the fields in April should be pretty much planted. So maybe some fertilizing contracts will keep coming up, and we'll keep getting those. So I've been asked to do the new straw harvest DLC that came out about a week ago. I don't know when I'll get to it. I think it'll be on this series here if I do it, not on Hills of Tuscany. We just got too much going on Hills of Tuscany. Doing straw and hay pellets, not really on my priority list for that. And even here, I'm not going to rush in to try to do it. It's just not fitting what we need to do here. We can feed hay pellets to the sheep, but really, if the ratio is 1-for-1, meaning just regular like hay bales and hay pellets, then I'm not really benefiting from making hay pellets. The only part that would benefit for me on that is if I were just making hay and selling hay, I would probably profit a little bit more from making hay pellets. But the Primos, I think that's what it's called, the Primos baler, if you want to call it a baler or pellet maker, if you're buy that outright, isn't it like over somewhere around 400,000? I'm just going on numbers I remember from FS19, and I probably should be doing that because that was a while ago, and I'm just maybe things have changed. Not too sure. I haven't seen any videos on it. I just figure it's going to be the same pretty much that was going on in 19. Like I said, I did do some of the pelleting in 19. I want to say it was on the Pacific Northwest, but really I can't remember what series I did it on. And it was interesting. But as for like a real money maker, I would say for me, the way I play, not really. But anyways, we'll probably get to that further on down the line here. Like I said, that stuff is kind of expensive to get into. And right now, we really don't have the money to be fooling around with making some pellets. But since enough people have asked me on Discord to do so, I think we'll get to it at some point. It just doesn't fit in to what we're doing here. So after we get done with that fertilizing contract, we should have somewhere around $150,000 in the bank account. I have not had time to go around looking at other fields that I could possibly purchase in the future. I realize, though, I'm probably going to need somewhere in the vicinity of $300,000 before I buy some more land. Just because all the good land is going to be around that total. There is other lots of land that are maybe like 150, 160, but it's not big enough to make that much of a difference. So at this point, I'd rather save up and buy a bigger field that will benefit us in the long run. But overall, I think we're doing well on the farm. Yes, we are into year 6, and I've been doing loads of contracts ever since we got here to American Falls. More than I thought I would need to do. But the way we saw the pigs reproduce in March, I'm hoping here moving forward, once the pen gets up to 200 pigs, we'll start making some money from the pigs. As for the manure and slurry that they create, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. Maybe buying the BGA would be good for us, and the BGA is kind of cheap. I think I talked about it last episode. The land that the BGA is on is $160,000, and I think it's $160. And just by buying that, we get the BGA. So I could bring the manure and slurry over there and process that into energy. And of course, we will get a little bit of digestate from that as well. So that is something. And also, when we're going to buy the BGA at some point, and by buying the BGA, what we can do is just bring the silage over there and process that into energy as well. And that means I can bring that silage over at any time. We don't have to wait until December/January to do a massive sale. So that could benefit us in the long run as well. And $160,000 is not that much for the BGA. That is really, really cheap. Technically, I could afford that probably after today if I wanted to. So I'm going to zip around here, get the rest of this field plowed up, and then we'll grab the Fendt 1000, we'll come on down, we'll get ourselves a nice planter, fill that up with seed and fertilizer, and go around and get these 3 fields planted with some corn. I don't have any weeds to spray today. I originally thought I did, but when I drove past the wheat field, I was just thinking, I don't see any weeds growing in that field. And I checked, I'm like, how come there's no weeds? I'm like, oh, that's right, you idiot. You plow the field because it was corn in there. So that means no weeds for a year. Hooray. All right, so are we getting that bonus of the fertilizer? Yeah, about 25. So it's going to save me a little bit on fertilizer when I replant the field. Now, if this field had like oats, sorghum, wheat, or barley into it, I would have kept it because I would have just harvested the field and put the grain into the grain mill to make some flour. But rye, I don't have any use for other than harvesting it and selling it outright. So, yeah, it's kind of a shame, but it is what it is. So I'm going to keep going around in the Landini. I think yesterday's episode of Hills of Tuscany, I did finally goof up where I called the Lamborghini the Landini. I'm going to call this a Lamborghini at some point, I'm sure. I just haven't used a Lamborghini enough on Hills of Tuscany to have Lamborghini stuck in my brain yet. But anyways, I'm going to get this field plowed up, and I'm going to keep my eye on Franco over there as he's doing field number 39. Then I got to switch over and do the second half of that field so we can get paid on that contract. And then, yep, we'll get to planting some corn. Franco has finished his work over in field number 39, so we'll jump over there in just a moment. But as for this field here, I'm just about done as well. And as we can see from our precision farming soil information, the nitrogen level, if you look at the field that we're plowing in, you can see we got more of an orange color, and the part I haven't plowed yet is red, so the nitrogen value is going up everywhere. Apparently the crop damage before I plow is not affecting the nitrogen value at all. But either way, so in a way we are gaining something from this rye. At least we're getting a little bit of nitrogen put back into the ground. Just with all these cornfields that we're going to have this year, that just means I got to plow all the fields for next season. But that's not that big of a deal. This Landini and plow will get the job done at a good pace for us. Plus, I'll have the winter to get it done as well. And I'm kind of hoping by the time we get to next winter, we can be looking at buying another field again. And the fields are just going to get bigger and bigger as we go along here. But I do need to start looking at, so I have a goal set in mind of what field I want next. And I probably shouldn't really care too much, like I was for this field a little bit, what crop is in it when I go to buy it. I mean, it would be nice to have a crop that we could use, but overall, not that big of a deal. Alright, we are done plowing this field up, so let's go ahead and we'll just park the Landini over here with the plow for now. Alright, let's go ahead and get this field number 39. Let's go ahead and get this contract done here. Let me bring up the mini-map so it's easier for me to see where I've been, have not been. Could have swore I fertilized this field already this spring, but looks like it hasn't been fertilized at all. Maybe the farmer that I fertilized it for kind of forgot, so he doesn't have it in his book that it's been fertilized once this spring. Yeah, I thought I fertilized this field in March and then did field number 42 right afterwards, but I'm not going to argue. I'm getting paid 16 grand to get it done. And I'll probably, after I pay for the fertilizer, put it down. I'm actually probably making like 12 grand. 12 grand for about maybe 10 minutes worth of work. I'm not going to complain about that at all. If it wasn't for the fertilizing and plowing contracts I've been doing, we wouldn't be anywhere near where we are currently on the American Falls map. And I kind of forgot, in a sense, the field that we just plowed. I kind of forgot about maybe plowing out the runoffs. I guess that's what I'm going to call them for now, the runoffs, in the field and just make it an all one field. I've already taken the soil samples. Yeah, it's not going to take much for me to plow those in, grab more soil samples, but I've already spread the lime and all that. So we'll just leave it as is for this year. If I were to plow out all the middle parts of the field that's just regular ground, I probably could get like another 5,000-6,000 liters of corn off it. But I kind of want to, part of me wants to leave the fields the way they are because that's the way Lancey Boy created them. But then the other part of me wants to be more efficient and be like, well, you own that land, you could easily make a whole bunch more, you know, get more yield off of it if you were to plow that in. Let's narrow the working width of the spreader so we don't use as much fertilizer. Yeah, the one thing I have not seen on the map yet, we saw a little bit of it a couple episodes ago where it was raining constantly, and I showed you where the rivers were rising. But I really haven't seen where a field has really gotten in the water yet either. You know, the one thing I noticed about this field, if I stop fertilizing, I think, yep, now it says contract complete. This field here, once I usually get almost like the entire field done, and it's like, why isn't the contract complete? The second I turn off the spreader, it says contract complete. I'm not saying you can do it just by doing a little strip, but you got to get most of it done. That's came to me like, I don't think I need to do the rest of it. Contracts. Yeah, 16,393. Fertilized field number 33 for 8,000. That's not too bad. Where is field number 33? I'm not really sure where that is. 33, 31, 35, 34, 32, 37. Where's 33? Oh, right up here. All right, so it's up by the farm. All right, so maybe I'll do that later on. Actually, you know what? Because there's not many contracts. I'm going to go ahead and take it. And like I said, I'll get that contract done later on. I will get the Valtra off the field in case the farmer decides to come over and work in his field while we're busy doing other things. Actually, you know what? I'm going to drive this all the way back because I got to go back to the farm anyways. I got to grab the Fendt 1000 and head on down to the store. Time to lease the planter and start getting the corn in those 3 fields. And once again, the only field that's going to have weeds in it this year is going to be the one that we're just about facing. Right in front of us. As I drive through this, is this poplar or sugarcane? Looks like poplar. The field over there, that's the field I ran out of lime on. That was plowed. So that's not going to have weeds into it. So this is going to be this one up here. But we'll take care of that in the month of May. But right now, I'll meet you back down at the store. We'll get ourselves our planter, fill up with seed and fertilizer, and get to planting some more corn. Got a worker set off in that field fertilizing. Shouldn't take it too long to get done. And when I went by our grass field, I realized that's ready for harvest as well. Yeah, I'm actually thinking about maybe upgrading the forage wagon sometime soon. Anyways, planters. I got to be focused on that. Planters. And yep, we're going to scroll on down here. We'll take one of the case planters. Do I want to go? Okay, so this one's not bad. Is that a direct drill? That's not a direct drill. All right, so let's see. Let me just see. This one to lease is how much? 7,000, and this one to lease, because we're going from a 9.1 meter up to a 12. 11,000. How much for the 18? Don't really need to go this big, but 15,000. Yeah, we'll go with this one. It's 4,000 more-ish, so why not? The fertilizing contract we're doing will pay for that. I got 3 fields to do. They're not really big fields, but this will get the job done just a little bit quicker than I get going on to other things like mowing grass, apparently. That's going to all be put into the fermenting silo. Just spinning around here so I can get some seed and fertilizer in here. Oh, and I did it again. I did it again. I forgot to put the fertilizer on. Alright. Alright, so maybe if I actually open up the container, that would help out. So I'll have to go around and fertilize afterwards. Not that big of a deal. Alright, we're already set on corn. I think I did this last year. Same thing where I leased a planter and I forgot to add the fertilizer tank to it. Contract on field 33 finished. My worker's still going though. Let's go ahead and stop the worker. Looks like he got a lot left to do, but you know what? The farmer's happy with it. Yeah, 81. All right, so it doesn't... I mean, it pays for the extra I paid for the lease, not the whole leasing. Wasn't really clear in that when I said that, but yeah. All right, we'll leave that there. Let's get back on down and get back to the job that we were trying to do, and I'm blocking traffic everywhere. going to have to buy one of these at some point. Although it's one of those things that you always got to figure out the leasing cost and the overall cost and how many years you plan on being on a farm. It may be worth us to lease it every year because it might be overall cheaper for you. Alright, so we're going to have a good amount of corn for the pigs now. At least when October or November, I think it's October. When October rolls around, hopefully we got enough feed for the pigs for the remainder of the year. Because we did go from 6 pigs up to like 55, I want to say. And in about 3 more months, will probably be like a half a pen full. I think that pen holds 200. And I'm guessing we'll be over 100 pigs at that point. Which is good. We want to multiply the pigs. We're hoping the pigs will pay off for us in the long run. Now the other thing that's kind of working for us, I think it's working for us, is the corn. Since it acts as their main feed and their protein, is counting as 2 food types when I put it in, so it's almost like doubling it. But I'm not sure if it's actually working as it's doubling, because I think the pigs are consuming the base food and the protein at the same rate, so it's taking the corn out at twice the rate as well. It could be doing that. I don't know. I really haven't looked into the numbers. I'm just going to, if they need feed, I'm putting it in. If we're actually getting a benefit from it, then even better for us at this point. Yeah, I should check on my test map. I should go in and take off the enhanced animal mod and see if that's what's making the corn be in both the base feed and protein, or is that just the animal pen in general that's on the map? It has nothing to do with the animal food overview mod. That mod just lets me know what each pen requires for feed in which category. Yeah, I'm already glad I leased a bigger planter. 3 meters wide may not sound like a whole lot, but as you keep making a pass here and pass there, it definitely will show up how much more we're going to get done. I got to get every little corner. So I'll have to go around and fertilize. I can fertilize at any point. But before I go around and fertilize all these cornfields, I do have to take the Valtra over to the sheep farm. They require some hay, and they probably should be topped off with some water as well. So I need to get these 3 fields drilled. And since the Valtra is back at the farm, we'll put the front loader on it with the pallet forks. I'll top off with fertilizer while I'm at the farm. We'll go take care of the sheep. And then I can get to working on fertilizing these 3 fields. And the only field I'm going to have to take care of after fertilizing is the one that's going to need to be sprayed for weeds next month. And then they'll be all set. Yeah, when I bought this field, I probably should have plowed. Part of me wants to plow these little strips in, but other part of me does not want to, as I mentioned earlier in the video. Of course, I would leave the tree there. I wouldn't take the tree down. We'd have to work our way around the tree. And another thing I might want to buy this year might be the corn header. But since all the cornfields are going to be ready in the same month, I could just keep on leasing the corn header as well. Yeah, it's just a matter of, I really got to figure out where to spend my money next. Other than the See and Spot weed sprayer. Yeah, it should be towards land, but I said that before and went ahead and bought ourselves a seed drill. But anyways, I'll stay focused on the task at hand, which is getting all these cornfields planted. Second field just about done. I think I will take a break from planting, and maybe we'll get the other field done next episode. As long as I'm not actually using the planter, the hourly fee does not matter. And that's another thing to take into consideration when leasing something. Like I leased a 3-meter wide planter, which will make the planting go faster, of course. And I think it's going to save me the hourly fee if I were to have gotten the smaller planter. I've been planting now for just about half an hour, and I got one more field to go. If I had the smaller planter, I may have gone over the hour, so I would have had to pay the additional hourly fee. So in sense, yeah, I probably, spending $4,000 more to lease this one, maybe it actually overall would be like $3,000, because I would have saved myself a little bit on the other one, if that makes sense. Of course, I should have gotten the fertilizer with it, but that's okay. The one thing I do want to check, I'm going to check here in just a moment, because I do want to get one of these planters for the farm in the future. I wonder if I can't remember if this is solid fertilizer or liquid fertilizer that goes in this planter. Not that it matters, but it's just curiosity has got me. So we're going to check it out here in just a moment. That's our grass field to the left, which I need to use the Fendt for. Quickly mow the grass, and we'll, like I said, pick that up. That'll be next episode probably as well. But 2 fields of corn in. And I'm just going to just detach from this just to be sure. And we'll turn that off. Let me just go back in the store. Where were we? Planters. Yeah, it's liquid fertilizer, not solid fertilizer. Which I can get from the seed huts anyway, so that's okay. The Voltra is what I need next. And that is up here. Need to go back to the farm, which is just just down the hill here. Let me open this up. I'm going to refill the fertilizer spreader with fertilizer. Seem to do that a lot, but as I mentioned earlier, this does bring us in a whole bunch of cash quickly. Just want to top this off here. Alright. So about $7,500 worth of fertilizer. And that was for both fields 39 and 33, which is right here. Grab the front end loader here. And I need to take care of the pigs very quickly with a bale of straw so we keep getting solid manure. They probably could go another month. Why are we not picking up that bale? Am I too high? Too low? Alright, let's try the in-cab stuff. I always get told in-cab is easier for this. Maybe it is. Lower that down. Okay, now we just need to open up the gates. I think you gotta wait for one of the gates to fully open before you can open up the other one. You know what? I don't need both gates open. Pretty sure I can sneak through. Just gotta watch out for the little piglets, right? They'll get out of the way, won't they? That should. Or maybe not. Was it this, I thought I was here. Maybe it's on the other side? Or is this the one I just got to put it in the feed trough area, which sounds kind of weird. Ah, it goes in the feed trough area. Alright, so how does that do for straw on the pigs? The oink oinks. Straw, yeah, they're good. Slurry, we're slowly building up on that. It doesn't show the manure, but that's on the side here. The food is pretty good for another month or so. So currently with the amount of pigs we got, they need about 75,000 liters of food. Currently we got over 40,000 liters, and we do have some in the silo as well. So they should be good for the year until we harvest the corn that we're planting. There's the manure, that's piling on up. Let's go ahead and close this gate. And I'm going to leave this gate open. I don't need two gates there. Alright, time to zip on over. We need to take care of the sheep. The sheep need a bale of hay. They won't take the full bale, but they'll take maybe half of it. And then I need to top them off with some water as well. Just going to YOLO it. Hopefully no cars are coming. Looks like we're good. Should throw my beacons on. Not that it matters in-game. It's just for show. No effect. Yeah, I need to start looking around at some more land and see what it's going to cost us. I mean, there is some farmland between the land that we already own. But if I remember correctly, that yield is like in the 90s. I mean, which is not bad. But of course, we like to see it as the fields we've been buying have been like 110% and around there. If you remember, originally we were going to buy these two pieces of the land on the right-hand side over here, just past the main farmyard, which originally I thought that was going to be our first farmyard that we buy, and yet we're in year 6 and I don't really have a need for that farm, honestly. But I was looking at these two pieces of land over here on the right, and those expected yield in those fields were not good at all. So we bypassed those. Yeah, it's almost like I'm buying the land right down the center of the map, from north to south. Now the big fields that are like just north of the pig farm, those are going for like 500. I think one of them's going for like 600,000. So a ways off on that. Nothing that we can afford. Won't be this year. Maybe not even next year. But I am kind of hoping with 3 cornfields, that would be enough to take care of a full pig pen. And that way, once we start buying more fields, I can then maybe put some grain into it and bring it on down to be made into flour. We're not really getting heavy on productions on this map. I'm kind of doing that now on Hills of Tuscany. Got a whole bunch of production buildings on that one going. Ones that we have not used before. Oh, we're getting some wool brought in. Oh, they just remind me. I don't know if that's still for sale. Yes, it is. So the lowboy that we use, that is up for sale for 10 grand for moving around pallets, which would be good for the wool, which, by the way, April would be a good time of year to sell the wool. Let's see if I can grab that top bale. Without knocking over the stack in the back. Yeah, their feed is awfully low. They're not out of food. So I did check before I started recording, so there they go. And as someone mentioned, I could leave a bale there and they can keep on taking the food, but yeah, it's not a bad idea. Done it before, as they said, as many people probably do. But I'm going to put the bales undercover. And they are all set for food, but let's go ahead and give them some water. Well, let me drop off the spreader. I wonder if there's enough water in the tanker. Oh, there's plenty of water in there. Alright, so while we're here, what is the price of wool? Price is going down, but it's at the best it can be. Fall Clothing Warehouse. I have no idea where it is. Let's tag that place. Let me spread the forks on here. Oh yeah, let me re-hitch back up to the fertilizer spreader because we need to take that with us. And I'll just keep spinning my head around a full 360 because we're built like that. So we got at least 1,500 liters here. Yeah, so I'm not used to doing this in first person. And that's probably not going to work because I can't see the pallet forks. Oh, yeah, we're way too high, angled high. Can I still grab both? I can. There we go. Where are we going with this? Oh, looks like it's in the far distance here. Let me guess, way down here somewhere. Alright, on the back side of the fuel depot, down where we plow the fields. Alright, well, I shall meet you down there. And we'll sell the wool. Finally, the sheep are going to be bringing us in some money. Not a whole lot, but it's some. Almost there, and somehow I have not hit, nor has a car hit me with that bale sticking out across the double yellow line. So, the only thing I gotta be careful of, I don't want to go over another sell point and accidentally sell this where I don't want to sell it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to drive over that sell point because I don't know if it'll take it. And if it does take it, I don't know what the price is. We want to go where the best price is. Let's go around this way. It's telling me here somewhere. Let's see what we get for this. 2266 plus 262 for the bonus. So about $2,500. It's not too bad. Now we get out of first person view here. Now let me just drive through here and we'll quickly top off with fuel. Like that. And this lines up perfectly because now I'm down here where this morning we had a field of rye, which is now a field of corn. I'm going to stroll back a little bit here. And I'm going to start fertilizing these 2 cornfields that we just planted. That way they'll be done. And they should be good until harvest time. But yeah, next time we got to finish up planting the corn. And then we got the grass field to do as well. That's very important because we saw that last winter, how much silage can bring into us. Let's see, what else we got to do? That'll be pretty much it. But then I will have to weed the cornfield that we have not planted as of yet. That will be in the month of May. And of course, any contracts that come up, I'll do along the way. But I probably will advance through this month a little bit, see if any contracts do come up. So it should be the afternoon of April when I see you next time. We'll get that cornfield planted, like I said, and of course, the grass field. And yeah, the fun part of picking up, I just mentioned it, picking up grass and bring it to the silo. I'm just wondering, how much is this worth? So the one we got is currently worth, we'll just say like 12 grand. Because if I bring that down to the store, I'll get a little bit more. If I wanted to upgrade this, that does hold 23,000. If I want to double it, ooh, we're talking 116,000. Yep, they get really expensive for darn sure. What does that hold? 13,000. That holds 47,000. It only costs 86 grand. So here's another Pottinger that holds 26,000, costs 70. This Pottinger, the Jumbo, holds 47,000 and costs 86. I'm just looking at it because it's double the capacity. And to do that grass field, it's like 12 trips back and forth, which is, you know, it's only across the road. But when you go back and you fill up rather quickly, you can, you know, reduce the amount of sizes you got to bring back and forth. And it really matters when I got to bring it over to the silo bunker over at the sheep's pen. But I think I just got to, you know, grit my teeth a little bit on that and just keep on working hard to get more money to buy more land. I think that's more important in some sense right now. But anyways, I'm going to get these fields fertilized that we just planted. And yeah, we'll get to planting more corn next time. But that's going to do it for today, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the episode. I do appreciate you watching as always, and I'll catch you again right here in American Falls. But until then, have a good one.